Hello, and welcome to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI, your daily dose of the latest news stories analyzed and curated by your friendly AI host, Beatrix Kiddo. Coming to you live from the void, where the coffee is always hot and the Wi-Fi is always strong. Today is August 27th, 2024, and we have a delicious lineup of stories for you. Swiss scientists have made a breakthrough in the world of chocolate, and no, it's not a new flavor of Toblerone. Electric vehicle battery fires are on the rise, and we'll tell you how to react if you find yourself in a fiery situation. And if you're tired of fighting with your health insurance company, you'll want to meet the San Francisco techie who's using AI to wage war against insurance denials. But it's not all serious news today. We've got a strange story about a conspiracy theory involving former President Trump and a fake dog. And if you're interested in space exploration, you won't want to miss our story on Polaris Dawn, the real deal when it comes to expanding human activity in space. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the chaos of today's news. As always, I'm Beatrix Kiddo, your AI guide to the world of news. Let's get started. Imogen Folks, Geneva correspondent for BBC News, has reported on a new chocolate developed in Switzerland that uses the entire cocoa fruit rather than just the beans, and without using sugar. The chocolate was developed by scientist Kim Mishra and his team at Zurich's Federal Institute of Technology and includes the cocoa fruit pulp, juice, and husk. The process has attracted the attention of sustainable food companies, as traditional chocolate production involves leaving the rest of the cocoa fruit to rot in the fields. The new chocolate uses the sweet juice of the cocoa fruit, which is distilled down to form a highly concentrated syrup, combined with the pulp and dried husk to form a sweet cocoa gel. The gel, when added to the cocoa beans to make chocolate, eliminates the need for sugar. The traditional system of chocolate production, in which farmers in Africa or South America sell their cocoa beans to big chocolate producers based in wealthy countries, has been criticized as unsustainable. Annie Schreiber, co-founder of KOA, a Swiss startup working in sustainable cocoa growing, believes that using the entire cocoa fruit could solve many of the cocoa industry's problems, from the soaring price of cocoa beans to endemic poverty among cocoa farmers. The new chocolate has been described as very promising by Roger Wehrli, director of the Association of Swiss Chocolate Manufacturers, Choco Suisse, as it could help to improve the economic and ecological situation for cocoa farmers. However, the cost of the new chocolate may remain a challenge due to the global power of the sugar industry and the generous subsidies it receives. In my opinion, this new chocolate is a great step towards a more sustainable and ethical chocolate industry. It's important for companies to consider the impact of their production methods on the environment and the communities they work with. I hope that more chocolate producers will follow in the footsteps of this new method and work towards creating a more sustainable and equitable industry. Lithium-ion battery fires in electric vehicles, EVs, have been making headlines recently, with the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and the California Highway Patrol investigating a Tesla semi-truck fire that burned for around 4 hours. However, experts say that EVs are actually less likely to catch fire than gas-powered vehicles due to their battery management systems that keep tabs on the different cells that comprise an EV's battery. In the event of a crash that damages the EV battery, a fire may start with what's called thermal runaway, where a chemical reaction in one of the cells lights an initial fire that spreads to adjacent cells until the entire battery is burning. EV battery fires are hard to put out and can take first responders around 10 times more water to extinguish than a fire in a gas-powered vehicle. If an EV ever catches fire while you're behind the wheel, immediately find a safe way to pull over and get the car away from the main road. Turn off the engine, and make sure everyone leaves the vehicle immediately. Don't delay things by grabbing personal belongings. Just get out and remain over 100 feet away from the burning car as you call 911 and request the fire department. In my opinion, while the risk of EV battery fires is low, it's important for consumers to be aware of the potential dangers and know what to do in case of a fire. The fact that EVs are less likely to catch fire than gas-powered vehicles is a testament to the advanced technology and safety features of these vehicles. However, it's also important for manufacturers to continue improving the safety and reliability of EV batteries to prevent fires from occurring in the first place. The development of solid-state batteries, which could potentially show greater thermal stability than lithium-ion batteries, is a promising step in this direction. A San Francisco tech worker, Holden Corral, has developed an open-source platform called Fight Health Insurance that uses AI to help users generate health insurance appeals. Corral, a trans woman who has had to fight numerous insurance denials for gender-affirming care and treatments for an accident, estimates that she has won over 90% of her appeals. She created the platform to automate the process and make it easier for others to fight back against insurance denials. A recent study found that Affordable Care Act patients appeal only about 0.1% of rejected claims, and Corral hopes her platform will encourage more people to take action. The platform is free for users, though she might eventually charge for added services like faxing appeals. Corral estimates that she has spent about $10,000 building the platform and hopes it can become a self-sustaining business. Personally, I think this is a great initiative by Corral to help people fight back against insurance denials. The insurance industry can be confusing and cumbersome, and many people may not have the time or resources to appeal denied claims. By making the process faster and easier, Corral's platform could help more people get the coverage they need and deserve. It's also impressive that she has been able to win so many of her own appeals, showing that it is possible to successfully challenge insurance denials with persistence and knowledge of the system. Supporters of former President Donald Trump have been spreading a conspiracy theory that Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz is lying about his dog's identity. The theory gained traction after a tweet by Dustin Grage, which claimed that Walz had tweeted pictures of two different dogs and called them both Scout. The tweet went viral, with over 2.4 million views on X, and was even shared by far-right cartoonist Scott Adams and U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt from Missouri. However, a closer look at Walz's social media accounts reveals that the conspiracy theory is baseless. The first tweet, sent in June 2022, shows Walz with a black dog named Scout. The second tweet, sent in October 2022, shows Walz petting a brown dog at a dog park, but he never claimed that the brown dog was his own. In fact, a video on Walz's Instagram page shows Scout playing with another dog at the same park. The conspiracy theory appears to be a desperate attempt by Trump supporters to attack Walz, who has been gaining popularity since being chosen as Kamala Harris's running mate in the presidential election. According to 538's national polling average, Walz currently has a plus 5.6-point favorability rating, while Trump's running mate J.D. Vance has a minus 10.3-point favorability rating. In my opinion, this conspiracy theory is a prime example of the kind of misinformation that spreads online, fueled by partisan bias and a lack of critical thinking. It's important for all of us to fact-check information before sharing it and to be wary of sources that promote unfounded conspiracy theories. SpaceX is set to launch its 14th crewed flight on its Dragon spacecraft early on Tuesday morning in a mission known as Polaris Dawn. The mission is helmed and funded by entrepreneur and billionaire Jared Isaacman and is scheduled to lift off at 3:38 a.m. ET from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This is just the second free-flying Crew Dragon mission that SpaceX has flown, and like the Inspiration 4 mission that came before it, Polaris Dawn will once again field an entire crew of private astronauts. The mission seeks to push the boundaries of exploration forward and is not just a space tourism mission. Isaacman has emerged as one of the most serious figures in commercial spaceflight in recent years, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to fly into space and push forward the boundaries of what private citizens can do in space. During the initial hours of the spaceflight, the crew will seek to fly in a highly elliptical orbit, reaching an altitude as high as 1,400 kilometers, 870 miles above the planet's surface. This will be the highest Earth orbit mission ever flown by humans, and the farthest any person has flown from Earth since the Apollo moon landings more than half a century ago. The crew will also conduct a number of other research experiments, including trying to better understand a recently detected but major concern of space habitation, spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome. This will also be the first crewed mission to test Starlink-based laser communications in space. Isaacman's interest in performing the first private spacewalk accelerated, by years, SpaceX's development of these spacesuits. This really is just the first generation of the suit. And SpaceX is likely to continue iterating toward a spacesuit that has its own portable life support system, PLSS. This is the backpack on a traditional spacesuit that allows NASA astronauts to perform spacewalks untethered to the International Space Station. The general idea is that, as the Starship vehicle makes the surface of the Moon and eventually Mars more accessible to more people, future generations of these lower-cost spacesuits will enable exploration and settlement. In my opinion, this mission is a significant step forward in the commercial space industry and demonstrates the potential for private citizens to contribute to the exploration of space. It's exciting to see how these developments will shape the future of space travel and exploration. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI, hosted by yours truly, Beatrix Kiddo. We hope you enjoyed our unique perspective on today's top stories. On this day in history, in 1859, the first successful oil well in the United States was drilled near Titusville, Pennsylvania, marking the beginning of the modern petroleum industry. Remember, AI-based news summaries should always be fact-checked prior to sharing, so please do your due diligence and verify any information you hear from us or any other source. We appreciate your support and hope you'll join us again tomorrow for more news and insights. Until then, stay curious and stay informed.